Okay guys, so I'm gonna start here on the porch. This is my coleus and petunia. You know, I thought the petunia was gonna overtake the coleus, but as you can see, it's not. I like the way it looks. I really wish the petunia was a little bit bigger. And then I'm gonna come over here, and here's the other one. And this petunia really does trail. You know, I really like this petunia. I'm thinking what I would really like to do next year is put more than one in a container. I think that will work better. And here is one of my hanging baskets. And this is the morning glory, and it's just growing up the hanging part, and it's kind of growing across the little scroll work here. And so here are the other two, and they're getting nice and big, and there's the third one. Okay, so now we're just going to walk around the property. But before we do that, let me show you, I did start some additional seedlings. So here they are. This is some hollyhock right here, and I think those are some delphinium. Those are sunflower. Quite frankly, I don't know what that is. I'll figure it out, and there's some more sunflower. So follow me. So today we're going to start with the driveway beds. So let's start down here. Okay, so this is the driveway bed. I'm looking towards the house. This is the one on the left. As you can see down here, when Bumper Snoot isn't blocking, hey, you're blocking my shot, boo. Okay, so these are the pixie lupine, which are reblooming. These are the nasturtium. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. They are full sun, and they're supposed to be drought tolerant. But as you can see, they're not doing well. They did well when I first put them in, but now they're definitely suffering. So these right here are some of the not petunias. These are some of the peonies. Their bloom season is over, but they're not looking too bad. So I'm just going to let the leaves continue to soak up energy for next year's blooming. These are the roses. I believe these are Jubilee Celebration. I need to cut these back a little bit. And then right here is a dahlia. This is Kogain Fubuki. This one seems to be taking off a little bit slow. There's one on the other side that's much bigger. The one thing I would say about this particular flower bed is, for reasons I do not understand, the stuff on this flower bed, is not as big as the other side, which you'll see. It's dramatically different. So these are some, right here are some of my sweet pea. They're a little bit stunted in growth, but you can see they're still blooming. I don't know what the life is for that, but they're still blooming. These right here are stock. I'm not really sure what type of stock it is. It has not started to bloom yet, but it's getting there. And this right here, Andrew, I don't know if you can focus in on this right here. These are bachelor button, also known as cornflower. This is the red, white, and blue mix. So as you can see, it's pretty blue, and that's the white, and that's the red. So it's a little bit stunted because I left it in the little grow pots too long. But I do like the way these have turned out, and this is definitely something I will repeat for next year. Okay, we can back up a little. These right here are sunflower. These are called, it's the Rembrandt mix, and they're here over here too. I got these from Hudson Valley Seed, and so they're really pretty. I'm going to pinch these off because I think they will continue to rebloom throughout the season. Actually, they kind of are. I can see the buds coming. And I know these will pick up a little bit in September once the temperatures start cooling. So this right here, unfortunately, all the blooms are tapped, so I need to deadhead them. But this is calendula. In this particular bunch right here, there's two types. It's the coffee and cream variety, as well as the lemon and orange twist. And it's really nice, low to the ground. I thought it was going to get a little taller, but it's a little bit shorter than I was hoping. Now this right here are zinnias. This is the Zinderella White. Now, for whatever reason, this is not doing a Scabiosa head. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it's getting the same fertilization as everything else. I just don't understand why it's not getting a puffy head. So, I don't know. I'll try growing it one more year, but I really wanted the cupcake shape. I think next year I may switch to the polar bear zinnias because that's got a nice full head. So right here, this is called, and Andrew, make sure you get the entire plant. This is called Love in a Mist, known as Nigella. So this is blue and white, and there's also a purplish color. I believe this is the Isaac House blend. I tried growing some, like a rose color, but they didn't survive. So it's really pretty, very ethereal looking. And if you look right here, after it blooms, it gets this really lovely seed head, and you can dry them for flower arrangements. Okay, so now up here is, oh, and this head is already falling apart, but you can see this one. This is called Dahlia Patches. And I do have a much better picture of this one when it was looking better. It's purple and white. This one is mostly purple. Usually they have white on the edges. Now back here, this patch right here, these are all my zinnias. So these light green ones, these are Zinnia Envy. And they actually do open up to have a pretty good sized head. Like if you can see this one right here. I have a better example at the other end, and like this one right here, this is actually Zinnia Queen Lime with blotch. That's why it's got the pink in the center. Here's the older bloom. That's what it kind of fades to. Okay, and this right here is Zinnia. This is another cupcake zinnia. I can't remember if this one is pink or a lilac because they looked very similar, but once again I'm not seeing a Scabiosa head. Now one of the things that is starting to bloom is right here. This is, I don't know if you pronounce it Fama or Fama, but it's Fama White Scabiosa. It's very beautiful. Actually, you know what? I just realized something. The Isaac House blend, I think, referred to the Scabiosa, not the Nigella. I think. I'll have to look those up. But this was a nice mix. This is the first year I've grown this, and I'm really pleased with that. So now over here, okay, I'm in here. We have some gladiolas. These are white. Now, the packet that I bought from Walmart was actually supposed to be pink with like a white throat with like a splotch of pink, which you're going to see on the other side. I don't recall that it was supposed to have white in there, but you know, mislabeling happens. This right here is another dahlia. Quite frankly, I don't remember which dahlia that is. I think it may be red and white Fubuki. I'm not sure. This right here is another zinnia. It is Queen Lime Orange. It looks nice, but I'll be quite honest, it's not my favorite of the Queen Lime. Okay, let's see if I can turn around here without stepping on anything. Okay, this right here is a sunflower. That is Ms. Mars. And it's one of the first flowers I've ever grown from seed successfully. So it makes me really happy. And then back here, ooh. See, we have a good example of it. Right here, right there, and even this one right here. This is called Double Dandy sunflowers. I got that packet from My Seed Needs, if I remember correctly. I also got another batch from Sunflower Select. Okay, and so right here, this is another type of zinnia. This is a much more compact variety. That's called Starlight Rose. This one's kind of missing the pink petals, but I think over on the other side we'll find one. This right here, I believe, is a cosmos, and it has not bloomed yet, but it's getting nice and big. Oh, and this one right here, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Where? Oh, there we go. It is blooming. I think this is the double click blend. I think that's what I grew. Okay. And then this right here, remember the Zinnia Envy I was talking about? This is what happens when the head is all puffed up. So as you see, there's a lot of different buds on the zinnias. I recently went back and I clipped all of these back. So now they're going to flush again. And there are a lot of mosquitoes out tonight. Okay, let's go to the other side. Woo! That is a bachelor button. That is the, oh gosh, I forgot which blend it is. I'll pop it up on the screen once I find it. But I got that from My Seed Needs. I think, oh, you know what? I think it's called the polka dot mix. That's what it's called. So guys, this is the right side of the flower bed. And as you can see, if you could just pan, everything on this side is much bigger. I don't know what I did differently on this side, but everything is so much bigger. Now, you can stay there, Andrew, rather than trying to climb through here. I don't want you to get bitten up. Okay, so this right here is, I think this one is Cinderella Purple Zinnia. And let's see, these are more of the Ms. Mars sunflower right here. And there's this really pretty sunflower back here. Can you see it back all the way back here, Andrea? Okay. I think this is the Peach Passion, because it's multi-branching, which it typically does. And then back here, I think this one is supposed to be Ruby Eclipse. Woo! Okay. Now, there's this patch right here that's growing. I believe this is one of my morning glories. I think that's the one that's known as Picoti Red. It's taken a while to take off. I'm not really sure why, but it just is. Now, this right here is another calendula. I think this one is supposed to be Pink Surprise. We'll see. The calendula on this side are just now starting to bud. The calendula on the other side have already started blooming, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Now, this is more of the Rembrandt sunflowers, and this right here is the Zinnia Rose Starlight. Now, if you zoom in on this particular flower right here, you can see that there's little red, like rose streaks going towards the center. And that's what that's known for. Okay, so this thing right here, these vines, this is a moonflower. Now, I tried to do a TP, kind of like I did on the other side, and this plant is so big that it's actually being pulled over by its own weight. So next year, because I really do like the flower, next year I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. So it will be more supported. So tomorrow I'll try to come out and restake it. But here's some more bachelor button. This is, once again, is the polka dot mix. And right here is some stock. This is called Iron Cherry. And if I remember correctly, I got that from Johnny's Seeds. Now, back here, I mean, first off, look at all these sunflowers right here. They're getting ready to open. And then look at this entire zinnia patch. Now, one of these zinnia, and it's this one right here. I'm trying to do this without falling into it. If you notice the way the head is shaping, that's a Scabiosa head. So that's what it's supposed to do. That is the only zinnia, the Scabiosa head zinnia, that's the only one that's actually developing a head. Now, when I got the seeds, they did say that there was going to be a certain portion that were single. But what I do like the cupcake head. So what I'm going to do is with that particular plant, I'm going to make sure that I take seeds from that one. So maybe it's a genetic thing where I kind of have to do like some selection on it. Now, this is Dahlia Patches. This is like that other one, except this one hasn't started, you know, declining yet. So that's what it looks like when it's fully open. And that's very pretty. Okay. Now, these are more of the Bachelor Button polka dot mix. This is Black Eyed Susan vine, and I'm going to get a trellis to do this. This one, I think, is just the regular Black Eyed Susan vine. And let's see if I can get in here. There's more whites. Hold on a second. Can you see around me? Okay. So this right here is Sweet Pea that's kind of aging. And I really like that. And then here is probably the nicest white Scabiosa that I have. That's very pretty. Ooh, okay. Oh, man.
You're biting all them daylight from it.
Yes, I know. Okay, now this gladiolus, this is what I got. This is the gladiolus I got from Walmart. So they're all supposed to be pink with this lighter throat in that purple patch. So I'm not really sure where those white ones came from. Ooh. Okay, and so this is another one. This one's just starting to open because they open from the bottom and go up. I haven't cut any for flower arrangements. I just kind of like them in the landscape. Now this is a White-Eyed Susan vine. That's what this is called. And then apparently I put in another, the Susan vines are called Thunbergia. So this one is called Blushing Susie. So I definitely need to get a trellis for those. Okay, so that's a dahlia patch, and I've already showed you those, but like I said, this side is definitely bigger than the other and fuller, so I got to figure out what that's all about. Now right here, this is this dahlia right here is called Kogain Fubuki. So it's pink at the edges and yellow in the center, and this one's got a bug problem. I'm going to have to deal with that because I can't have these bugs in here. As a matter of fact, hold on a second.
Oh.
Yeah, I did squish it with my hands. So I'm excited because this one looks like it's actually going to turn out to be the way it looks on the pack. Okay, guys, so here's the good, bad, and the ugly. I got a lot of squash off of this. It's like tapped out. It's done. I think it's a combination of heat and everything. I did get a really good crop off the zucchini. I will definitely have to change up what I do for next year. The cucumbers are still hanging in there. So I'll get a few more, fruit off of that. There's actually a couple more of zucchini over here that are right there. But it was doing well until we got the 90-degree days, and that just seemed to kill it. Same thing with the tomatoes. Like the tomatoes, they're getting watered every day, sometimes twice a day, but I don't know. This heat is just too much. On top of that, if you remember from the video, I actually had string trellis and they pulled it off because of the weight. So I think I'm going to harvest the tomatoes and cut them all back, and hopefully they'll reflush because there's a lot of tomatoes in there. It's just they're all collapsing. So if we go over here, I originally had some broccoli and everything. I pulled it to put in some herbs, so those are doing well. The carrots, I've been harvesting those. They're doing well. There's another tomato bush that's doing well. This is my Brussels sprout, and I'm actually just going to cut the stalk. As you can see from looking at it, there's actually a lot of Brussels on there, and they're ready to be harvested. And so then once I can pull that, I'm probably going to put more herbs in that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the bugs are kind of vicious this year. Again, this is my Desdemona Rose. I'm going to give it some fertilizer tomorrow. It's actually been doing well. This is the first year I've had this. It's been blooming very well. David Austin roses tend to be very water hungry, but with the drip tubing, it's definitely, I haven't seen it wilt this entire year. So that's always good. Okay, so let's go back here to my onion and garlic patch because it's kind of, yeah, it's very wild. So I see some of the onions are starting to turn, so I can go ahead and pull that. I'm not really sure how it got quite so wild because I just weeded all of this. But the onions I think are good size. There's some garlic in there. I don't know if that's ready yet. But, this 90-degree heat has definitely been brutal. So I definitely have to change up what I do in the vegetable garden for next year because I think the plants are having a lot of heat damage even though they're not wilting. So this baby right here, these are corn. I saw some corn developing, but with these really hot days, it just seems like the corn just stopped. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is just waiting until fall, cutting them and using them for decorations on the front porch. Okay, so last thing over here is the pumpkin patch. And it's kind of taking over, which it's supposed to do that. It's kind of, this summer has been really weird, and it's just we have had no respite with the heat, and I can tell that it's just really affecting all the plants. Now down here, this is called a honeywort squash, and so this is almost as big as it's going to get. Now I'll know when it's done because it's going to turn from green to terracotta color. Now the nice thing about this is that the vines don't get that as big as like a regular butternut squash, but it's got multiple fruit on it. And so there's some back there too. So next year I think what I'm going to do is put a lattice so it can grow up it. I'm not really sure which one is the pumpkin. It's somewhere around here. I'm sure I'll find it when I'm not looking for it. The pumpkin's probably going to grow in that hedge somewhere back there. Okay, so let's go over here to the sunset garden. Okay, so these right here are called portulaca, and they're doing pretty well. They're succulents, and they're, to be quite honest, I haven't been really watering this bed consistently, but everything in here, I guess something's okay because nothing's wilting, as you can see. This is Cosmos. This is the apricot lemonade blend. It's getting nice and big. This is Celosia. I don't remember what kind. I got it from the garden center. I didn't grow that. And then there's some zinnia. There's like 4 zinnia in there, and they're starting to blossom. I think that's supposed to be the salmon double profusion, but we'll see when it actually starts opening. That one flower with the red on it, that is a daylily. And for the life of me, I cannot remember which one it's called. The roses are back there. They're starting to bud again. The one in the center, is Graham Thomas. The one on the sides are Teasing Georgia. And then I put a lot of dahlia in this bed. And so, I'm trying to think, how many dahlia did I put in there? They're all coming up. So at a certain point in time, this is just going to be massive amounts of cut blooms. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Andrew, you want to get a close-up on the Cosmos? Okay. And so, did you get a close-up or? Oh, yeah. I think that's a new variety from, I think it was Park Seed. And so I'm really happy with it. I really like the way it's turning out. Okay, last stop is the moon garden. Okay guys, so this is the moon garden. As you can see, the hydrangea, which are called bridal whites by Endless Summer, they're blooming. They have multiple heads on them. I wasn't sure I was going to get any blossoms on them. These right here are called Apple Blossom Impatient. And I don't know if you can zoom in on this. because they're in the shade, they do have their pinkish blush color, which is what it's supposed to be. Now, down here is a Stilby. This is the first year I had it, so still getting acclimated. These little white things right here are Gomphrena. I need to pop off those heads. Okay, and then over here, these are my rhododendron. So I originally was going to use these for a hedge, but the sun out in front I think is going to be too intense, because when I was putting them on the north side of the house, they were looking very sun stressed. So they're much better here. So I have some other places I could tuck them to kind of make a privacy hedge along the back. So that's what I'm going to do. And this up here are my panicle hydrangeas. This is Limelight. This is what I'm going to use to make the front hedge. So I'm just waiting. I'm going to wait till fall to put them in, because quite frankly, with how intense the sun is, and given the fact that I don't have, all my water situation worked out, I don't want to lose them. So guys, that's it. So that's how the garden looks in July. I still have a lot of work to do. I've been cleaning up a lot of the property because the owners hadn't lived here in 3 years, but I'm going to get there in the end. So hopefully you guys could actually hear this, because I've got a new microphone and everything, and you don't hear all the cars in the background. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.